81 million euros. For Bruno Guimarães. That's the number stopping me this week, and we flagged this exact rumor before, still unconfirmed. 2 days packed into one show today, Thursday the 30th and Friday the 31st of July, 2026. Some of what's coming is done, sealed, official. Some of it is still just talk. Is it business or just noise? I'll tell you which is which, and every single fee gets weighed against what the player is actually worth. Right now, 30 days until the window shuts in Germany and France, 31 elsewhere. Prices are climbing. Drop your verdict in the comments as we go. 81 million euros for Bruno Guimarães. We flagged this exact number on the same day, July 31st. And here's the thing, nobody else is reporting it. One outlet, one figure, no second source. So this is not confirmed. Treat it as a rumor, not a deal. Let's judge him on what we know instead. Market value sits between 56.8 and 69.4 million. 81 blows past that. He is 28, peak years. But Newcastle had roughly 22 months left on his deal, and that leverage was already slipping. So even if this happens, it is overpaid. Would Arsenal actually pay that much for a player already past his cheapest resale point? Yes or no? Comments. 70 million euros for Lewis Hall. Same number we brought you last time, still just one name attached to it. Team talk. Nobody else is touching this story. No confirmation from Newcastle, none from United, and that silence matters. So let's judge him on what we actually know. His market value sits between 33.8 and 41.4 million euros. 70 million blows straight past that range. Here's the twist, though. Newcastle still had him under contract until June 2029. 34 months of leverage. That's a club that could say no and mean it. He's 21. Resale value is real here. This isn't just spending, it's partly an investment. But at this price? Bargain project or panic buy? Would United actually pay it? 53 million euros for Gabriel Martinelli. That is the number going around again. We flagged this exact figure back on July 31st, and it was a rumor then too. Nobody else is carrying it now, so let's be honest, this is not confirmed. Treat it as gossip until a second source shows up. But let's judge the number anyway. Market value sits between 40 and 49 million. 53 million blows past that. Here's the twist, though. Martinelli only has 10 months left on his Arsenal contract. 10 months. That means Arsenal had almost zero leverage. He was walking for free next summer. So Roma, if this is real, paid close to full price for a player who should have been cheap. At 25, he's entering his peak. Good player, bad value. Rumor or real deal already in motion? Prove me wrong in the comments. 3 deals, 3 reality checks. That is the job here, going through the noise before the headlines even settle. If you want tomorrow's numbers verified before anyone else bothers, subscribe. It is genuinely why I keep doing this. 50 million euros. That's the number floating around for Rafael Leão to Manchester United. I said this before, on this exact date, and it was a rumor then too. Still is. Nobody else is confirming that figure, so let's not pretend it's real. Let's judge him on what we know instead. His market value sits between 53.9 and 65.8 million. 50 million undercuts that whole range. He's 27, prime years, right now. And Milan only had him under contract until June 2028. 22 months. Leverage was already slipping through their fingers. Whether the fee is real or not, the logic points one way. Bargain. Should Milan have cashed in a year ago? Comments. 46 million euros. That is the number everywhere, but it is not quite right. The actual reports say 50 million pounds, and it is a buy option, not exercised yet. This is still not confirmed. We flagged this back on July 31st at the same 46 million figure. Still a rumor then, still one now. Here is the real problem. Grealish is 30, 10 months left on his contract. City had zero leverage there. He was heading for a free next summer. So Al-Hilal basically paid full price for a player they could have waited out. His market value tops out at 19.8 million. This fee blows past that. And they have already spent 129 million this window on 2 other deals. Overpaid or smart business? Tell me which. 25 million euros for a right-back who just turned 20. We flagged this exact number back on July 30th, and it is still just a rumor. Roma have not confirmed a thing. But look at the math. 25 million sits right inside his estimated range, 22.2 to 27.2. That is not a ripoff. That is not a bargain either. Here is the real story. Feyenoord had him under contract until June 2029. 34 months of leverage. They negotiated from strength, not desperation. And Roma? They have already spent 35 million this window on one deal. This would be their second big swing. At 20, Read still has resale value baked in. This is a fair price, if it happens at all. Smart business or just noise? Tell me which side you are on. 15 million euros. Ajax for Edson Álvarez. We flagged this exact number on July 30th, and it is still just a rumor. Nobody else is carrying the story. Same figure, still just one source. So let's not pretend this is done. Let's judge the number anyway. 15 million sits right inside his estimated range, 13.2 to 16.2. That is not a discount, and it is not a ripoff either. It is just correct. Here is the context, though. West Ham had about 22 months left on his deal. That leverage was draining fast, and Álvarez is 28. Peak years for a defensive midfielder. Fair fee, fading leverage, prime age. Convince me this doesn't get done. Comments. Imagine this. Lewis Hall drops into left back, bombing forward with license to attack. Rafael Leão drifts in from the left wing, cutting inside onto that favored right foot. Around them, the rest of United's squad clicks into place. Now, the number. 528 million euros. That is the combined market value of this projected 11, for just 120 million spent. Worth repeating, this is a projected lineup, built from squad ratings, not an official team sheet. But still, does that math work for you? Bargain or blunder? Comments. So that is today. Some deals were done and signed, others were still just talk, and I flagged every single one of those clearly because a rumor is not a transfer. So out of everything we covered, which piece of business was the actual worst? Not the biggest, the worst. Tell me in the comments. I read all of them and I reply, especially when I think you are wrong. Subscribe for tomorrow's episode. New day, new numbers, same rules.